Because Muujin put out a video called Debunking the Biggest Misinformation War in Gacha Game History. Genshin Impact versus Wuthering Waves. Can we stop doing this? No. And they'll never stop. You want to know why? Because that would require the Genshin community to be fucking reasonable. So let's see. I'm actually curious to see what Muujin thinks is misinformation or not. Because he's been around, I'm not sure if he's been around Genshin since the launch. I've been in there since day one. I've been in there pre-day one. But the biggest misinformation war in gacha game history ever? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that, big man. Let's see how it goes.
Please stop doing this. After almost 4 years since Genshin Impact's release, we finally have a worthy competitor. And instead of focusing about what makes this game special or unique, or maybe enjoying both games, we have people using the term Genshin Impact Killer.
The best term ever made. And if you disagree, I will explain why you're wrong. Here we go. Calling something the Genshin Impact Killer immediately ties this new up-and-coming game to the most popular gacha game of all time. Now, people don't want you to use it because it makes you hurt their feelings and they think it discredits the game, but it doesn't. Okay? Just like when I'm called Scuffed Asmongold or Budget Tim the Tap Man, I was stoked to be used in the same sentence as two of the most popular streamers of all time. It gives people a hook, a point of familiarity, and it allows the foot in the door for new players to go and play the game and see if this game is better than what they already enjoy. I think calling it the Genshin Impact Killer is great. Now, is it truthful? No, it's not by any means. Now, Genshin Impact Killer, nothing can kill Genshin Impact besides, you know, Hoyoverse themselves, but it certainly is the Genshin Impact hurter. It definitely hurt them, but how much? Who knows? But so far, I fucking love this damn game. And I'm still going to play Genshin Impact 5.0 as well.
Taking us on one hell of a throwback from like 20 years ago, when any time a game in the MMO category came out after World of Warcraft, all news articles and the entire community that didn't want to play World of Warcraft would call it the World of Warcraft killer. But as you can see from this tier list over here, nothing worked, and the only things that can actually kill World of Warcraft are Blizzard themselves.
True.
This sucks to do because it puts very unrealistic expectations on those games that are coming out and hinders them, even though they could be good games by themselves. Here's the thing though, even though all these games were touted as World of Warcraft killers, the controversy surrounding the communities is nothing compared to what's been going on between Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves.
100% true.
Have to understand the amount of outright misinformation and exaggeration and just false narratives that have been going on just this last week has been insane.
You want to know why? Because the community is a bunch of children and all of the content creators are ready to profit off of that. Okay? Dumbass kids making shit the fuck up and believing it because nobody wants to check their fucking sources. It is what it is.
Like, look at this image, for example. I'm sure you've seen this if you've been keeping up with this drama.
I've seen it.
This is an image of someone holding up their phone, launching Wuthering Waves while in MiHoYo's HQ in Shanghai, who are the creators of Genshin Impact. This image spread like wildfire under the narrative of, oh look, even Genshin Impact developers are playing this game, it's so good, they can't even hide it anymore. Dude, listen, what if I told you that I personally know who took this picture, why they took it, and how I can guarantee you, I can give you proof that they're not a MiHoYo employee. It's just insane.
Way!
This thing
No way!
spread everywhere. But unfortunately, it hasn't just been some dumb things. There are some aspects of this misinformation that spread around like crazy that can endanger careers of voice actors and Kuro Games, which are the developers of Wuthering Waves, as a whole. So I thought I'd make this video to kind of go over some of the most asinine takes from people on both
the word is asinine.
sides because they're both complicit, and just laugh about it while giving you some very well needed context.
Okay.
So strap in because it's gonna be crazy. But first, a 60-second ad. If you've been itching for a classic style MMORPG video, Wuthering Waves was highly anticipated by many people. This is the first legitimate competitor to Genshin Impact. Let's completely forget about Tower of Fantasy. That was an absolute disaster.
Well, the other thing is that Tower of Fantasy was never going to be a competitor to Genshin Impact Because it was a fucking MMO. Since when do you ever compare single-player games to MMOs? I mean, the comparisons just made no fucking sense.
I wouldn't even like put it in the same category at this point. They've had somewhat of a rough launch, okay? There were performance issues both on PC and mobile, and while unfortunately it's become the norm in the gaming industry in general, they were very quick on their feet, released hotfixes almost every single day, and gave rewards that players could never imagine seeing in their competitors' games. Now, despite these performance issues, guys, they've achieved the #1 spot for downloads on the top charts in over 100 regions, okay? They're doing very well. But there is one issue that even the most hardcore Wuthering Waves fans can't deny.
You know, I actually, mathematically have the #1 most amount of sex in one region. Your mom's house.
And that is the extremely disappointing and inconsistent English dub. In particular, the female protagonist. You can pick either male or female, right? I picked female. Don't take my word for it. Look at this scene, which is meant to be intense, with a very important battle going on.
Oh, so they're gonna do the cutscene, aren't they?
Just listen to this. Just listen to this.
Here we go.
Do you really think you can trap me here?
You will not escape.
What the f?
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Till we meet again, dear friends.
You're not going anywhere.
It wasn't.
It's so bad. It is actually so fucking bad, bro.
Just in combat, though, this is the same character talking to herself in an internal monologue during.
And the worst thing is, all of that is still not as bad as whenever Yang Yang talks. That's the worst thing.
An investigation type quest. Okay, let's see the voice acting, bro.
Part of the building is submerged. I should be able to find the hidden path underwater. It seems I have a puzzle to solve. Guess I will check on the mechanism in the middle first.
Hello, I am currently voice acting for Wuthering Waves. But look, there have been many theories surrounding why the voice acting was subpar in English while being amazing, and I mean top tier in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean. Of course, people just couldn't accept like a boring reason, like, I don't know, there was a lack of direction or communication or something like that. No. It had to be a conspiracy theory.
It was very simple. I talked to the voice actors about this. They just said a lot of the lines they did, they only had 1 or 2 takes on it. And that's just pretty much it. You know, and then some of the voice actors said people need to practice their ability to do takes in 1 take. And that's just pretty much it.
This is where this
I do really feel like the English will be getting an overhaul, though.
absolute clown, this absolute buffoon by the name of Saint Taint, or Titties, whatever the hell his name is, came out with a video. Was Wuthering Waves sabotaged by Hoyoverse?
I hate how I never reacted to this.
Did Genshin Impact's developer sabotage it directly? Question mark? With 77,000 views, okay? What does Saint Taint have to say? All right, 1.25 speed. Cue the circus music. Let's go.
Wuthering Waves has taken over the United States.
Yep.
Kuro Games, the developer for Wuthering Waves, is confident in its success. Interest has grown rapidly over the past few weeks as Kuro ramps up their marketing and advertising
Yes, sir.
prior.
Normal.
Kuro has accomplished this in the gacha space despite losing many of its potential content creators to Hoyoverse's predatory preferred creator which
Already off to a great start. All right,
So the problem is that he presented that as the Hoyo creator contract, in which that's not the Hoyo creator contract. That is the Yomi Holic contract that they're offering creators for covering Zenless Zone Zero. So that's the difference. That is the incorrect contract.
all these content creators are known for their Genshin content, and they've all since then have been playing Wuthering Waves. Except Asian Guy Stream, but he has expressed that he's quitting content creation. So
Must be the contract. No, we know why he's quitting, guys. We know why he's quitting.
not even 30 seconds in.
I think it's because all of his friends did not have his back whatsoever. Like, dude, when he got called out for all that bullshit, I've never seen more people turn against somebody quicker. Like, they turned on him like that. Like that. And since then, where the fuck did everybody else go? You know? Like, dude, they all vanished. In like the blink of an eye. He gets called out. All of his friends, yep, fuck him. Actually insane.
And this guy is just spewing bullshit. This contract he's referencing is very simple. It leaked around a month ago and is from a company called Yumiholic. It's a marketing agency, and Hoyoverse will typically hire multiple of these agencies to seek out content creators who are usually smaller or up and coming and give them access to a game like Zenless Zone Zero that's very hard to get into during the closed beta, and in return, they'll ask for them to do a bunch of stuff. Now, in that contract, this clause right here made a lot of people panic. It says, the content creator shall promptly notify Yumiholic if any other gaming brand intends to sponsor their content.
Well, I don't even think there's even a reason to cover this because this isn't even revolving Genshin Impact. This is strictly in regards to Zenless Zone Zero.
Yumiholic has full discretion to reject sponsorships that could be detrimental to Zenless Zone Zero or the content creator's reputation. So their role doesn't just become a marketing agency, they also present themselves as your agent. It's scummy, it's predatory, and usually the people who fall for this are smaller content
Yeah, they're idiots.
creators who don't have an agent. Even I was reached out by a similar company back when I initially was blowing up with my interactive map videos.
Yep.
And since they kind of take the role of an agent, you can very easily see in multiple YouTubers' channels, in their description, they usually will say affiliated with this company,
Yep.
affiliated with that company. It means that this marketing agency has become their agent. And yeah, most likely they can't really talk about competitors without their permission. So yeah, this is important because it'll show up again in the video, right? So yeah. Now check this out. This is really where the theory crafting starts to take place. He's referencing the English voice actors for Wuthering Waves.
Looking at the roster, it's quite strange that we're seeing so few names that we're traditionally familiar with in the gacha
That you're
anime
familiar
space.
with.
Big names like Brianna Knickerbocker, Demon
Genshin
Mills,
Impact,
and
Honkai
Caleb
Star
Lane
Rail.
are surprisingly
Honkai
absent
Star Rail again.
despite previous involvement in many gacha titles. One of those titles, ironically enough, includes Punishing Gray Raven.
So the reason why they weren't present is because they decided they wanted to hire a British company because it was territorial closer to China. Why that is, I don't fucking know. But that's why they said they did it.
Coincidence or not,
Punishing Gray Raven is the
Allegedly.
game that Kuro Games made before Wuthering Waves, right? So all these voice actors from Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, were in Punishing Gray Raven. Just keep this in mind as this guy keeps talking, all right?
all of these big ticket VAs are nowhere to be found.
Uh-huh.
This becomes even more questionable knowing that Skylar Davenport, the voice actor for March 7th from Hoyoverse's turn-based strategy game Honkai
Yeah,
Star Rail,
we know her.
also the voice of Bianca from Punishing Gray
Oh,
Raven,
wow.
was the original voice for Yang Yang in the earliest closed beta test.
Okay.
I
In
see.
the current state of the game, her VA is Rebecca Yo. Skylar Davenport is a talented actress that has
Yeah, she is.
historically
She is.
delivered in her previous role with Kuro Games.
Okay.
Why would Kuro Games replace a tenured VA for their largest budget game
I don't know.
with a VA that has only had one role prior over 2 years ago?
Yeah, let's just insult her.
Well, hold on, hold on.
How much dialogue had to be
Hold up.
rewritten
Let me go
to
back. Did he insult her?
game
I don't know.
with a VA that has only had one role prior over 2 years ago?
Yeah, let's just insult her.
I don't really think it's that really insulting to just state a fact. You know, people can take offense to it, but I do think that experience does mean a lot.
How much dialogue had to be rewritten to accommodate for new
Oh
VAs?
my god.
It's clear that something is going on behind the scenes.
Is it?
Were the delays in the English dub for the Wuthering Waves CBT caused by even more anti-compete agreements by Hoyoverse behind the scenes with its VA contractors? This is a disturbing trend. that
Very
Hoyoverse
disturbing,
is
guys.
actively developing within the gacha space and video games as a whole. The ability to deny resources and talent to your competitors
Absolutely.
through predatory employment agreements is
This is Hoyoverse right here.
True.
You heard it here first. So of course these accusations are huge. Not
I really don't think that was presented in a way that was an accusation whatsoever. I feel like that was presented much more as speculation. Me personally, I felt that that was purely speculation. I don't think he was saying that in a definitive way whatsoever.
not just because they put Hoyoverse as a very bad actor in the industry, but it's also implying that these voice actors who did work for Hoyoverse are just money hungry and will sign any contract that takes away their rights as long as they get the money, baby. This video has 77,000 views, right? And all the comments
I kind of feel it was. Well, the thing is, he was using question marks, not periods, right? And that was chosen intentionally. And the inflection on his voice as well. Obviously, we're doing a lot of like feels crafting right now, but the only thing you say is if it was presented as an accusation, it would be stated clearly as a fact with a period. But it was stated with a question mark. Once again, I fucking love Muujin, and that's okay, but we all have our ideologies. But for me, it felt much more like speculation.
are them being like,
And to be honest, when I do see common trends like that, I do think it lets the mind wander. right? So I don't want to guilt the guy for speculation.
Like, wow, this sounds illegal. Holy moly. This makes me want to support Kuro more. This is really weird. And it only continues to worsen this war, this nuclear meltdown between the two communities. Thankfully, though, once this spread a bit too much, voice actors finally spoke up. Sayu, who is a VTuber and who voices both Jingwan from Honkai Star Rail and Sino from Genshin Impact, uploaded this video on his VOD channel saying, "Let's talk, stop lying."
I see where she's coming from, but he's framing it like a fact. Okay, let's go back. I really, so we're at 10:45. I really think you're wrong here. So let's replay it, and I want you to think, is this an accusation or is this speculation? I want you to listen again, okay? And then weigh in again.
2 years ago.
Yeah, let's just insult her.
How much dialogue had to be rewritten to accommodate for new
Oh
meanings?
my god.
It's clear that something is going on behind the scenes.
Is it?
Were the delays in the English dub for the Wuthering Waves CBT caused by even more anti-compete agreements by Hoyoverse behind the scenes with its VA contractors? This is a disturbing
So that to me reads speculation. He says there's something weird going on. Could it have been caused by this? He said it's clear. No, he said that it's clear. Ready this?
delays in the
Look, listen.
It's clear that
He
something
says
is going
it's
on
clear
behind the
that something is going on behind the scenes. He never says what is going on behind the scenes. And then he's following it up with questions.
scenes.
Is it?
Were the delays in the English dub for the Wuthering Waves CBT caused by even more anti-compete agreements by Hoyoverse behind the scenes with
That's why there's question marks on both of the things we're saying. There's something going on behind the scenes. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe it's this. But I don't think he put anything out as a irrefutable fact. That to me reads speculation, but I guess that's up to the guy who fucking put it out there and the way people perceive it, but that's just me.
Lying on my name. Look, this is one of the first things he says in this video.
One more thing before we get into Wuthering Waves. Would you voicing Wuthering Waves given the chance? Yes!
Now, once again, we've only seen context of that video very minimally. Perhaps after this, we can watch that video in its entirety and see if he does present it as a fact or not. Because I am missing the context. Obviously, I have not seen the whole video. He is literally implying it, though. I think there's a big difference between an accusation and speculation, right? And implying something versus stating something, right? So I just want to give all parties the benefit of the doubt, right? I want to give everybody their fair chance, right? And I think it's way different when somebody says, "You are doing this and I know it," versus, "Well, there is a chance he could be doing that." And that's why I want to be very fair.
I would love to.
So, just the first 5 seconds is him saying, yes, I would love to voice for Wuthering Waves.
Yep.
And he goes on to say that this is completely false. There is no exclusivity clause in the contract that says you cannot voice just for Wuthering Waves. In fact, the voice acting industry is so competitive that you'd be an idiot.
He later presented as facts. Okay, well, I can't weigh in on that until I've seen the full context. So I'm only telling you about what I know for this.
To sign something like this, especially when you have an agent that will tell you, hey, do not sign this contract. It simply turns out that the studio Kuro Games chose to hire was in London.
Yep.
And contrary to what you might think, especially after the pandemic and remote work, you will almost always be asked to go to a studio to record. You'll
Yep.
never be asked to do it from home. Although, maybe
That happened a lot more in COVID. There was a lot of headset recordings for COVID. Even some of those actually still made it onto Honkai Star Rail live servers years after because the lines were recorded far in advance.
very rarely. All these well-known voice actors
But
in
yeah, nowadays, you come into the studio.
the gacha and anime space are located in Los Angeles. It's not to say that there aren't any good ones in London, it's just that maybe some of the ones you're used to aren't. So of course, when it comes to someone like Sayu or Alejandro, which is, his real name that he goes by in the voice acting industry, asking him to fly from LA to London just to record for one game
Yep.
is asking a bit too much.
Fair.
Because many of these voice actors are in very high demand and a trip through
Yep.
the Atlantic is gonna be very taxing.
Absolutely.
And as to why the English voice acting in Wuthering Waves suffered greatly, it seems to be a lack of solid direction.
Absolutely, yes.
Do I think the female Rover's voice actress is bad?
No, but I do think I agree with this 100%. This is more or less what I've heard from the voice actors themselves during the podcast we did, where there wasn't really direction. They weren't really aware for some of the lines. For some. And I was also told it varied between person to person, so it's very hard to nail it down, unfortunately. Also, God, I love her red eyeshadow so much.
Hell no. I wouldn't even begin to think that. Look, you're probably not a voice actor watching. If I asked you, hey, can you say the line, "I'll kill them all," in the context of a very important battle, you'll probably be like, "I'll kill them all." You'll give a good performance. If I just tell you, hey, can you just say the phrase, "I'll kill them all," without giving you any context as to why you're saying it, it's gonna sound like this.
You're not going anywhere.
Okay, so that's a really bad example, and let me tell you why. I get what he was attempting to do here, but the problem with "I'll kill them all" has context within the sentence, where you can pretty much assume that you should be saying that with murderous intent. I guess you could say maybe you could be sarcastic, but if you were to read it literally, it's like, okay, well, the guy's probably angry, otherwise why does he want to kill them all? I think it'd be better to say, why don't you take the line, "I'll take a potato chip and eat it"? Because if we all watch Death Note, whether you've watched Death Note or you haven't, that line can be read very, very, very differently.
So as far as I know, Kura Games have taken in the feedback and they're working on it, right? They're gonna revisit the English dub and they're gonna stop forcing their British voice actors to force an American accent, which really didn't help, by the way.
100%.
It made them very uncomfortable.
100%.
And that's it, there wasn't a huge conspiracy theory. Now, of course, after Sayu and multiple other voice actors came out to say this, Saint Taint, even though he uploaded this 2 weeks ago, came out with an edited pinned comment 2 days ago, wrote 4 paragraphs. Guys, listen, I'm gonna save you time. You can read this if you want. Ignore all these 3. Let's just focus on the 4th one because this is the best part out of all this. This video dives into a hypothetical explanation for Wuthering Waves, let's be honest, troubles in the English voice work. It's clear that the lack of experience on some of the cast members has led to dips in quality on release. Like I mentioned in the video, it's very odd that Kuro would go with a whole new direction for one of their biggest budget games to less than satisfactory results. The keyword is hypothetical. It's an explanation for what could have happened, not a statement of fact. Me spreading misinformation would require me to know the terms, conditions, and restrictions of every voice actor's contracts and deliberately construct a false narrative, which is exactly what you did, by the way. If you think I had that knowledge 14 days ago when this video script was written, seek guidance. Let's just 1 second.
Should be
Sure, because if there's another line, I am curious what he says here.
questionable practices. Their success in monopolizing some of the most important aspects of a game's longevity and appeal should be a massive cause for concern.
Hypothetical, by the way.
Gacha community.
This is just
It's
a theory.
abundantly clear that Hoyo has made active attempts to sabotage Wuthering Waves' closed beta test and first impressions, restricting voice actors at the most inopportune times. Likely the direct cause for the lack of English dub in the
Guys, this is a hypothetical statement. Chill.
It would be very convenient if a contract from a signed Hoyoverse VA was leaked in the coming weeks. I think we'd find some shocking similarities with the previous.
It would be very, very convenient.
This is very difficult because I can understand 1,000,000% where this guy's coming from, and I want to be very fair about this. Okay? So I want to go back.
Active attempts to sabotage Wuthering Waves' closed beta test and first impressions.
So this could be true with the Yomi Holic contract that was leaked. Okay? There has been an attempt to wuther the waves, essentially. Now, there was no damning evidence or any proof whatsoever about the voice acting being sabotaged at all.
Restricting voice actors at the most inopportune times. Likely the direct cause for the lack of English dub in the
Guys, this is a hypothetical statement. Chill.
It would be very convenient if a contract from a signed Hoyoverse VA was leaked in the coming weeks. I think we'd find some shocking similarities with the previous.
It would be very, very.
I mean, I would say, am I crazy? I feel like he is posing a hypothetical with that. Because he said it would be very convenient if something was leaked in the coming weeks. I think we'd find similarities. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I feel like that is hypothetical. Maybe that's my read on it. He said it's abundantly clear. So the thing is, okay, let me explain to you this, okay? So you are correct, right? So before he said it's very clear, it's abundantly clear, right? And I think in a court of law, this would be a very interesting thing to actually argue the intention. But the thing is, when he's saying that it's abundantly clear, or like this thing happened, he is talking about scenarios that have happened. However, when he does talk about what has happened with the voice acting voiceover, he is stating it as a hypothetical from the way that I'm hearing it. Now, I am curious how you guys are hearing it. Do you guys think this is pure accusation? Or do you think this is a hypothetical? Type 1 if you think it's accusation, type 2 if you think it's hypothetical. And so as you can tell already, look at the split of this. The 2-2-2-1-2-1-2-2-2-2-2-2-1-1-1-2-2-2-2-2. Like, it's obviously very split, and that's why, because we're going into this as neutrally as we possibly can, right? Because obviously, you know, I have no stake to defend this content creator whatsoever. I don't even fucking know the guy. Okay, I've reacted to 1 or 2 of his videos, and I also love Muujin and Sayu. I think they're both fucking awesome. But I don't think it is abundantly clear that he is not stating this as a hypothetical. Because if it were abundantly clear, I do think we would see a more universal response. So I think that's probably the issue, right? So is it speculative? Is it accusatory? Who's really to know? Who's really to know? You know, because I do see him being pretty straightforward with the things that have happened, but when he is saying the voice generation, it does seem pretty, maybe this is this misuses of words, essentially. Yeah, perhaps. But once again, nothing can be proven, right? It's very hard to prove the intention that someone has, but I am trying to be like, is it really that obvious that this guy is being accusatory? I'm not quite sure.
I think we find some shocking similarities.
Isn't the problem, though, the audience is going to take it differently? Well, it really depends on your perspective, right? Because you can only put things out with the intention that you know. It's kind of like every single time you use sarcasm, people can pick and choose whether they want to take it seriously or not. Because people want to act like people can't say things and not mean them, right? So it's kind of like this, okay? I tell someone, hey, chat, you're fat and ugly. Or like this, hey, chat, you're fat and ugly, right? And then you guys go, oh my God, why did you say that? Apologize, right? And I'm like, I was kidding. And then you go, no, you're not. And so then I go, I'm sorry. And then you guys go, well, you didn't mean that. And then I go, oh, so you mean I can say things and not mean them? Wow, imagine that, right? So it's all about like arguing someone's intent is very difficult, right? It's very, very, very difficult. It's a Jimmy Carr reference, really, really fucking great comedian. But yeah.
With the previous,
It would be very, very convenient if someone's contractually causing them to lose a job and have a terrible reputation in the voice acting industry. You know, it would be very cool if someone would do that, dude. Listen, he is a clown, okay? He is an absolute buffoon. He has, all in the same 6 minutes, insulted the current voice actors on Wuthering Waves, spread misinformation like crazy, and when he finally got caught in a corner, he just doubles down and just like, eh, it wasn't me. Like, I'm just saying, like, maybe.
So here's the other thing. Can I tell you why I also think this video is speculative and not accusatory? It's because even in the title, he puts a question mark. Because it's not Hoyoverse sabotaged Wuthering Waves. It's was Wuthering Waves sabotaged by Hoyoverse. Okay, so now if you say bad take, what makes you think that's a bad take? Because you have to admit, if he put Hoyoverse is sabotaging Wuthering Waves, that would instantly be a much more clickable title. Clearly, the was and the question mark was used for a reason. It's a leading statement. The problem is that this is basically the same thing as a lot of media uses. It's basically the I'm just asking questions argument, which has always been garbage. Bad take. Putting something as a question doesn't make it not an accusation either. Yes, however, it also doesn't innately make it an accusation. Once again, unfortunately, all we can do is argue each other's opinions, but there's a lot of things that people have done very poorly in this community. There's a lot of things that people have done outright, proven demonstrably beyond a shadow of a doubt. I don't really think this beyond the shadow of a doubt like proves that this was an accusation. In my opinion, it's definitely based on a viewer perspective. Yeah, exactly. Now, once again, I can believe that these statements could have led people into believing certain things. However, I do also believe it is pretty valid. It could have just been speculative. Your take works when other people aren't dumb. Yeah, but the problem is people are dumb. Yeah, I know. That's how it goes, right? That really is how it goes, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. Bro, isn't the line, it's abundantly clear that Hoyoverse sabotage accusatory? It is. It is that statement. Let me pull this up, right? That statement right here is very accusatory. But when he's using that, he was referring to the Yomi Holic Zenless Zone Zero contract, right? Which was attempting to, as you can see, reject sponsorships that could be detrimental to Zenless Zone Zero. But then when he talked about the voiceovers, he was speculating, right? So he never once, in the video that I've seen, maybe I haven't seen the whole video. Maybe you guys have seen it. Maybe you guys have seen it. In the whole video, I never see him once say, they are doing this to voice actors. I know it's true. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously to your interpretation. I think that's what makes this issue so difficult. Because as much as I would like to be like, yeah, fuck this guy, he's a rat. I still think there's a chance that he actually is being truthful. But that's just my opinion. You can have your own. That's okay.
Like crazy. And when he finally got caught in a...
You know, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna take a poll. I would like to see the actual split. So do you think he was being accusatory or do you think he was being hypothetical? You see how it's very split? Yeah, I guess it's kind of led up to your opinion, which is, you know, obviously difficult situation to be in. I can argue that seeing 50% as accusatory is enough to cause damage beyond just being a harmless statement. Oh, and that as well, I totally get that perspective. I totally get that perspective. However, I'm just not sure how that would hold up, like, in law, you know? So I can see how people can be like, you know, was it a joke? Was it not? The other problem is that this is the gacha community where people constantly misinterpret people's words, right? Which also makes it very difficult because, like, I'll be real, man. I mean, people thought I was fucking racist for saying Yunjin sounded like a fire truck. You know, like, I mean, you know, like people thought I was transphobic because I said sometimes it take a real man to be best girl when I was talking about Venti, you know, like it's very difficult. You know what I mean, though? It's very, very, very difficult to understand your intention. So, yeah, I mean, that's the reason why, like, and I'm trying really hard to laser in on this, but I can 1,000,000% see both sides. I can 1,000,000% see both sides.
In a corner, he just doubles down and just like, hey, it wasn't me. Like, I'm just saying, like, maybe. It really is unfortunate that something like this took so many people's attention away from the very simple issue that is just a lack of coordination in the English voice acting. And of course, it made the drama worse. You know, due to videos like whatever the hell his name is, Taint or whatever, content creators have been dealing with many people giving them shit for either playing or not playing Wuthering Waves. So you're in this dilemma. If you say anything positive about Wuthering Waves coming from...
Hold up. Honestly, this split is also an issue on how misinformed people are and what point you take it. By law alone, this is only hypothetical statements where you're just based on previous facts. I don't know what you just said, but okay.
From Genshin, you're accused of being sponsored. And if you don't say anything positive, then you're also accused of being sponsored.
Tectone can't help but defend the guy from being misunderstood because he's been through so much misunderstanding himself. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely say that I am very biased towards this guy's situation because I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because the guy might have just been a little bit silly, you know? I might have just been a little bit silly. But yeah, I would definitely, yeah, as a guy who's been misunderstood a lot, I would definitely say my bias is very much showing for sure. I think that's pretty fair to say.
By Genshin Impact or Hoyoverse, his Hoyo contract requires him to shit on Wuthering Waves. So again, this only serves to fan the flames on this conflict between these two communities. But while this already is crazy, we're still at the tip of the iceberg here. This image is arguably one of the funniest things to come out from the drama between Genshin and Wuthering Waves. Not because of what it means, but because the whole thing is a hoax. It's not real, and I have proof! The #1 news source for everything Wuthering Waves related, guys. Wuthering Waves Media. I'm sure I can trust everything they say. Let's check what this page has in store for us. Let's scroll down, look at their pinned post. Seems like MiHoYo employees are really enjoying Wuthering Waves. With this image being attached, 800,000 36,000 people saw
That is
this with
insane. I saw shit too.
36,000 likes. They pinned it because they're proud that it's their most viewed image. But this image, dude, okay, listen, let me just give you the full context here. This image actually originated from Wei's community. He does Genshin theory crafting vids. I highly recommend you subscribe to him. They're very high quality videos. In Wei's Discord, there's a viewer called Freaky Dawei that for whatever reason was at the MiHoYo Shanghai HQ. Not an employee, just visiting. To prove to Wei that it was actually him and he wasn't lying, he brought up his second phone and opened up Wei's channel and took an image in front of the reception of MiHoYo's HQ office. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But then he took it a step further and opened up Wuthering Waves on his second phone in front of that same reception. These are the two images Freaky Dawei posted. Now, I don't know how or why, like, how did it even spread so fast? I don't know. I mean, Wei was joking around saying start Twitter
That's
war.
so fucking good.
But this image found itself on the biggest Wuthering Waves news source on Twitter, and it's their most liked and interacted with post of all time. This wasn't just limited to that page,
This is what I mean by people just spread misinformation for fun.
though. The biggest Genshin Impact meme page, which loves to steal content from other people and block them when they ask for credit, also
insane.
posted this on their Twitter. This is the embed right here.
Any video that I've never, first of all, I credit every video, but it's the same thing. If anybody wants me to take their video down, I take it down. And yeah, there are even people who say you can no longer react to my channel. I say, okay, I appreciate it. You have to credit the people who you get your work from. You have to.
Them saying Hoyoverse devs playing Wuthering Waves. It has since been deleted, right? It was up for a few hours, but guys, they have 1.2 million followers,
Insane.
so the damage has been done.
Fucking insane.
You even have Wei here quote tweeting this post saying, "Pick on left is not a Hoyoverse employee." But of course, people ignored it. The second pick, though, is, as far as I know, real, and it's someone who does work at MiHoYo who was streaming the game.
I don't know what that image is of Kamel Ya is in the bottom right, but oh my god, that is so hot.
Pick, though, is, as far as I know, real, and it's someone who does work at
somebody
MiHoYo
link me
who
that?
was streaming the game on Bilibili.
Can somebody link
and
me
they
that-
were having
that
a
GIF?
great time. You know why? Because developers aren't teenagers going through puberty. Let me give you an example. If you worked on Uncharted 4 for 3 to 4 years, you've been working on this thing 8 to 10 hours a goddamn day. By the time it releases, you could play it and enjoy it, but it will not be the same experience as someone who just started playing it for the first time with no interaction. Dude, you could play the damn thing and look at the rocks and think, I know the person who made the pack of rocks that's placed all over the map. So then what do? You see a game like Tomb Raider come out that has similar mechanics, and you play it with fascination. You're like, oh, so this is how they did this. Oh,
By the way, just to verify, he did say that the Hoyo employee was just playing the game on their stream, right? Yeah, okay. So then it doesn't really matter. I would say, considering that a Hoyo employee is playing Wuthering Waves, right? But yeah, that is really funny. That is really fucking funny.
I think they got inspired from us here, but did it better. Oh, so I'm curious how they did this. And you just have a great time. This is how developers act. You can have friendly competition in sports.
Yep.
Why not have it here too? But yeah, this image is this image is fake. It's fairly harmless though, but I wish I could say the same thing
So I'm glad we're on the same page.
about this bombshell.
Okay, here we go.
So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Wuthering Waves had a bit of a rocky launch. But hey, to be fair, it is the biggest game that Kuro Games has ever launched. They apologized and they've been fixing it. It is what it is. But very recently, a post was made on r/gacha gaming with the title, "The real reason Wuthering Waves' optimization issue seems to be fine." The main Unreal Engine specialist, Jiff, was laid off 2 months.
So here's your problem, okay? The problem is you're going into r/gacha gaming and expecting content that's not fucking garbage. That's like going to Tectone's channel and expecting him to not farm drama. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of a you issue for going there. Like, gacha gaming truly is the dumpster fire piece of trash of Reddits in this community. It's almost worse than LSF, but not quite.
Months before release, and whatever they added between last closed beta and actual release destroyed the optimization. Starts off the post with,
Hold up, what the fuck do you mean San Juan nerfed? Okay, well, I can't see that. Anyways.
let's start with evidence. Oh yeah. So this, unlike
Okay.
the internal leaked image, is quite
See, the way he's presenting this right here, you know that this is accusatory. There's no what ifs, there's no buts. It's just, this is the truth and here it is, right? So this is why this guy's a fucking clown.
Quite a daring accusation. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I fully believed this when I first saw this, all right? But after doing some more digging, I have massive question marks around this entire post. Let's start with the evidence. The post by Jif was made on Zihu, a blog website from what I understand, in China. And people were easily able to make the connection with who he is in this video where he presented their workflows on Wuthering Waves in Unreal Fest Shanghai back in 2023. So this is him right here. He starts off by saying, 2 months after leaving Mingchao, which is Wuthering Waves, I got rid of a heavy burden mentally, physically, and in my outlook on life. I am undoubtedly feeling relaxed and happy.
Okay.
So here's how this post sums it up, right? This person who posted claims to know Chinese. So let's see.
This guy's the biggest dumb fuck on the internet, in case you don't know this, Mujin.
The first sentence says, been 2 months since I left Wuthering Waves. I'm feeling happy and relaxed, dropping the heavy burden on my body, my mind, and my moral compass. Says, notice that whatever this is quite thick here because it's in bold. Then doesn't really explain what it means. After some stuff related to traveling and meeting other devs in the past 2 months, he said, after all, this industry in China is really a desert of idealism. It neither lacks capital that is solely oriented towards profit, nor lacks companies that have no basic contract spirit. Nor hypocrites and real scoundrels who talk about being great in front of others and scheming in the end, behind their backs.
Yep.
Then says something about when choosing a partner to work with, I guess. Character should be your first priority. Not only what he says, but also what he does. Not only what he does and says to you, but also what he does to his past partners.
He also shits on you on every CN post supporting you. Bro literally goes to Chinese Billy to shit on me in Chinese? This guy has no life. What the fuck? Here, guys, do me a favor, okay? And you can clip this and you can put this on Billy if you so choose. You're more than welcome to it. Hey, all Chinese Wuthering Waves players, yo, had a little bit of a rough launch. I'm still enjoying Wuthering Waves. I hope the servers over there are going good. Hope Wuthering Waves turns out to be okay. But for now, I'm just enjoying the game for what it is. Use Calcharo if you haven't used him yet. He's the fucking best. And also, I love ice cream. Appreciate y'all. Ignore the steamed bun dumpling retard. Fuck! They know me as the fuck guy, so I wanted to give him one of those.
Not only what those close to him say about him, it also depends on what past estranged partners think of him. So here the poster argues that whatever the hell this is pretty much insinuating that he's talking about the controversy that Kuro Games had in 2023 when they fired 100 fresh graduates they hired right before their probation period ended, right before they became full-time employees. As far as I could tell, listen, I don't know Mandarin, but as far as I could tell from all the research, this actually did happen. This is someone asking, it's rumored that Kuro Games is laying off a large number of employees. What is the real situation? They laid off the entire project team, or I guess project management team. And one of the people that responded was, thanks for the invitation. I'm one of the people on the layoff list. I have a vested interest, but I won't be anonymous. They said, I signed a labor contract with Kuro on December 1st, 2022, and Kuro unilaterally terminated the labor contract on May 29, 2023, 2 days before the end of the probation period on May 31st, on the grounds that I failed the probation period. After the first negotiation on compensation on May 24 failed, Kuro only notified me of the failure of the probation period on the afternoon of May 29 without discussing compensation. So at the time when this happened, it was actually a fairly big controversy in the gaming space in China.
Okay.
So did this occur because they expanded too fast and ran out of capital, or did it happen because of a more shady reason? Who knows? But I know for a fact that it did happen. The post here is saying that Jif is hinting on what happened between him and Kuro's game management in relation to this, right? But to me, this feels like I'm in poetry class looking at a poet's work and thinking, oh yeah, he must have meant this. It's like, we don't know 100%.
Yeah, exactly. It's speculation.
Then he references others' comments. The only time Jif replies to a comment is here. Another commenter said, good thing you are gone, otherwise you would be losing so much higher working overnight. In which Jif replied, optimization of the final closed beta 2 months ago was fine. I would be making stupid mistakes like this. And he's referencing the rocky release here. So this is that same comment translated with Google Translate. And it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to translate Mandarin in general. So from what Jif had said so far, we can conclude that maybe, yes, there was some sort of discontent. I mean, the guy's saying, hey, I'm loving life right now after leaving 2 months ago. But everything else in this thread comes from hints or deductions, but nothing's 100% certain.
100%.
I mean, look, the entire speculation for the layoff.
Well, the problem is he's saying that this is proof. which is just quite literally not true.
Is from a commenter saying layoffs before launch. Are they trying to reduce the number of people who will share year-end bonuses when the game becomes popular? I have seen this before. So his entire conclusion that it's a layoff comes from a comment on the thread. Now listen, I will say this though, okay? I
What
wouldn't
a
necessarily be
fucking dumbass.
surprised to know that he was laid off. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised that there is some dodgy stuff happening. Even though, yes, there are some very vague statements and deductions and speculations in this thread, there's a reason so many people upvoted this and believe this in the comments. It's a different language that many people don't understand.
Yep.
And people want an explanation as to why the launch was filled with bugs.
Yep.
But, and there's a very big but here, when I really took a step back and asked myself, wait a second,
Yep.
I can't believe this, is when I saw the person who posted it.
There it is.
Steamed Dumpling X. And oh
Yep.
man, this person, they're the embodiment of mental illness.
The biggest retard on the internet.
Brace for impact because we're heading to the fucking psych ward on this one. Look at this guy's YouTube channel. Yes, this is him, Steam Bun X. In his name,
This guy is fucking nuts.
Hoyo Shill. He gets very angry whenever you talk bad about Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, and he has this very weird and almost borderline creepy obsession with Tectone.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't have an obsession with me, guys?
Like, look at his feed. Tectone. Content creators who used to play Genshin who are now playing Wuthering Waves because it just released. True comedy. Posting bugs with Wuthering Waves. Saying that it's an underwhelming game. And of course, more Tectone.
Yep.
I mean, look at this. Kuro equals Nichi Sanji. This dude is such a troll. But I think the funniest thing about this guy is that when Genshin was losing over 1 million followers on their Chinese social media,
And I mean this genuinely, guys. I give people mental illnesses. Okay? Just think about all of the content creators who have come out and said, my PTSD with Tectone. That's why you call it post-Tectone stress disorder, man. I mean, it's a very real thing. I mean, we had a content creator who literally said I gave them PTSD. You know? I mean, I really fucked these people up by merely just existing.
due to the 3 intertwined fates drama. You can watch my video about it if you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You had both people who dislike Genshin and people who have had only a history of positivity with Genshin.
You gotta understand, Muujin. It's not that I hate Genshin. It's that I just want it to be better, and I know it never will. And it's truly a fucking shame.
All unite together to criticize Hoiver's stupid decision, with the exception of Steamed Bunex, of course. He made this video, The Strange Case of 3 Years, 3 Fates, and 3 Million Unfollows Genshin 4.4 Drama Investigation, in which he was literally the only content creator on the planet, okay, maybe not, but you know, one of the only people to deny the fact they lost any followers. There's this really funny 30-second clip of Tectone reacting to his video, and I mean, it says everything you need to know about him.
The other possibility is that the videos, and especially all the articles that is published in multiple language, are lying to you.
I don't believe that. I'm gonna check the graphs myself. I don't believe this. So I have another image of the follow fall off. I don't know what little bro is talking about. Whatever he put is completely wrong, because that did not happen to Genshin's analytics. And it's most likely because you bought the follower version and you reported on a bugged out analytics page. So, yeah, no, that's completely wrong. And that took me 2 seconds.
Yep.
That took me 2 seconds to look into.
Look, this
And that's why you stick with the facts. That's why you stick with the facts, boys.
dude has tried to troll Genshin content creators, Honkai Star Rail creators, and now Wuthering Waves creators. He is known for that. Everyone just dismisses him automatically, especially after this video he made.
Oh, yeah.
And very recently, okay, this post was deleted, but I still have the tab open, thankfully. He posted again on Gacha Gaming, which has a hate boner for Wuthering Waves, by the way. That's another story. This post.
I hope you get into it too, man. This literally is the most pro Hoyo shill subreddit of all time. And you want to know why they want to shill it? Because it's the popular thing. And they want to be the popular kids. And they're upset because this game they've spent thousands of dollars on now has a competitor that's doing fucking great, bro. When the Sensory Tower comes out and they see how much money Wuthering Waves have made in about 9 days, not even the full month, because it came out on the 22nd. it's only gonna have 9 days of revenue, bro, they're gonna be shaking in their size 12 custom sealed baby boots.
Saying, stop doom posting Wuthering Waves. The viewer for Wuthering Wave have never gone lower than 20k for the past 4 days. I'm not accusing Wuthering Waves of view botting. This is only a praise post for Wuthering Waves, showing that it retains more players at night than even League of Legends. So this post is meant to be ironic in the unfunniest way possible.
There's just something about the way Mugen does his videos that is just so fucking funny to me, bro. Like, god damn. So he's attempting to be funny, but he's just doing a horrible fucking job at it. I don't know, it kills me, bro. I don't know what fucking accent he has, but he sounds so posh. I love it.
He made the same post on Twitter, and these are the images he used. He was comparing World of Warcraft, which gets around like 50k viewers peak every day, compared to Wuthering Waves, saying Wuthering Waves seems to have a very strong viewer retention at night where most Twitch viewers are not watching. So he's pretty much hinting at the idea that, oh, they're probably botting. This doesn't make any sense. He also accuses Xiox of view botting because he gained almost 2,000 followers in the snap of a finger when he switched to Wuthering Waves.
Okay. So this is a partial truth. Xiox was botted. However, it wasn't Xiox who was botting. Right? Someone is follow botting people who are streaming Wuthering Waves. However, and here comes the big however. Do you know what they're doing with those follows? Here's the big kicker, guys. Here's the big kicker. They're follow botting people playing Wuthering Waves to say that Wuthering Waves is bad and Genshin Impact is good. So actually, it's more likely... Oh, wait, you talk about that in the video? Oh, fuck. Damn! My problem is I love this shit, Mugen. I love this. I love getting to the bottom of shit and fucking mask-offing these fucking fake fucks. Okay, you get it? Okay, great.
And that when he was streaming the Genshin livestream, he only gained 80 followers. Genshin could never, with an S at the end, hinting that it's satire. Does anyone else think the stats look kind of weird? Gonna be absolute cinema, he says, so confidently, living in his own world. I imagine I imagine this dude literally in like a home in the middle of nowhere by himself. He wakes up every day, talks to himself in the mirror, and thinks, man, dude, wait till everyone sees what I'm cooking.
Oh, that's brutal, bro.
But no one cares,
Bro.
So of course, the loud bunch of some Hoyoverse games on Twitter would repost this post saying this is actually tragic, no wonder it was so choppy when it released.
Man, can you imagine the Genshin Impact community actively spreading around misinformation and saying,
it's heartbreaking. Another Genshin player saying, the fact that this story is finally spreading. Like, God, thank God. I was hoping this would happen. Many people, including maybe you watching right now, might have believed it like I did. And while yes, this post may be hinting at some foul play in terms of politics, in terms of bad coworkers, in terms of just employee dissatisfaction, it doesn't confirm that he was laid off. It doesn't confirm that it was done deliberately. The only thing I can very safely confirm to you today that I'm very confident about, that is 100% true, at the risk of ruining any relationship I might have with Kuro Games, is that yes, before release, their Wuthering Waves team was pretty much out of budget. It was doing pretty badly. And if you're a content creator who was in contact with them, you knew this.
Yep.
Many people on the marketing and content creator teams were...
Oh man, Mugen, for you know what? For you, I will vouch. This is very true. I gave Kuro a very huge discount on my normal rate for a sponsored stream, because I was going to play it anyways. Yeah, they were fucking strapped,
being laid off, and they had like no funds for sponsors. Period.
Yeah.
For example, only a handful of streamers on Twitch got sponsored.
Yep.
Almost no one on YouTube got a sponsor.
Yep.
It's a miracle the game came out. So,
however, I can now also confirm that now they're looking to do much more long-term sponsorships.
yeah, I would not be surprised if Jif got laid off. But to say that he got laid off specifically so that he doesn't get game release bonuses after working on the game for years is a massive accusation. And unless there's actual direct evidence, I just choose to not believe it because it's that much of a difference.
Yep.
Also, I'm adding this to the video on the day it's meant to release. Hi, I know I sound sick because I am. I want
Bro literally sounds the same.
to point out that the mods on r/gacha gaming actually deleted Steamed Bunex's post about all this. Apparently, they're taking a hard stance on hostility and drama farming, which is actually pretty cool. So,
Nah, that's cap. I saw that shit like every fucking day. Nah, that's straight cap. Hey, they might have said this shit. I guarantee you I can go there right now and type in the word Tectone. You know what? Let's do it. When was this post put out? This was put out. Okay, let's see. Posts or comments. When was this put out? Not the T word. It's the pinned post, I think. Let's say. Oh, 1 day ago. That was posted 2 days ago. Are they finally trying to fix their ways? Maybe they are. Hey. You welcome. Let me check recent. You welcome, because if they changed it, it was because of me. Let's just be real, because I've called this subreddit out so many goddamn times. It's about fucking time they're doing their goddamn job. Tectone, let's see here real quick. Search by, new. Relevance, new. Okay. Hey, boys. Reddit, obliterated. You welcome.
So, hey, kudos to them. Anyway, let's get back to the normal video. So all these things combined, especially with the fact that we have someone extremely mentally ill making this post, completely changes my opinion. Kura Games had a very rough period before launch, alright? But they're slowly recovering, and hopefully they can not only rehire the people that they fired, but they can manage their funds better. But even with all these things debunked, even if all the players would stop causing drama, there's another big problem happening, which is encouraging the fires, even though no one wants to put gas on them. Bots. The bots are unfortunately a real thing. Braxophone, who is a very well-known guide maker for Genshin
I got these as well.
Impact, Honkai Star
Asmongold got them as well.
Rail, and Wuthering Waves, just gacha in general, had these bots show up while he was streaming Wuthering Waves. He says 100 accounts followed him, and then he saw these first-time chatters very quickly in chat, saying Genshin Impact's attention to detail is impeccable. Wuthering Waves is riddled with sloppy mistakes. Did you know Genshin Impact's puzzles are clever? Wuthering Waves puzzles are childish.
Asmongold's head is full of hair. Tectone is a bald mess.
Genshin Impact's boss fights are thrilling. Wuthering Waves bosses are pushovers. Hey, did you know how seamless Genshin Impact's cooperative play is? Wuthering Waves multiplayer is a disaster. And what's funny is that someone posted this tweet on TikTok claiming that it was Hoyoverse that botted him. It's so Hoyover. Another gacha content creator called Legion Z Gaming also had this show up in a Wuthering Waves video in his comments. Genshin Impact is better voice acting than Wuthering Waves. Genshin Impact offers better co-op gameplay. Wuthering Waves has limited exploration opportunities. Wuthering Waves user interface is less
What the fuck is the point of even co-oping in Genshin Impact? I still don't get it.
intuitive. Genshin Impact's story is engaging, whereas Wuthering Waves' narrative is bland. Genshin Impact features more varied enemy types.
How the fuck anybody say Gimmick has more enemy types when all it is Hilichurl, Big Hilichurl, Dancing Hilichurl, Wizard Hilichurl. Oh my god!
Wuthering Waves lacks regular updates, unlike Genshin Impact's frequent content releases.
It just came out.
Look, man, I don't know who the hell is doing this. I don't think Hoyoverse would.
I know who's doing it. I know who's doing it. It's very simple. Guys, ask me. Ask me who. There's only one man. There's only one man it could be. Steamed Bun.
would stoop this low to hire bot farms to do this. I mean, what are they going to get from it? I honestly would not be surprised that it was one of these weird-ass Twitter stands making up these bots, defending their billion-dollar company, and resulting in flames being exaggerated to massive hellfire.
Now, here's the reason why I'm a little bit sussy baka of this. If you monitor the Twitter community for Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse as a whole, you'll see that the game is trending quite often. And if you check any of these trending posts, like the new character trailers, the amount of bot comments on these posts are fucking ridiculous. Right? The botting issue in the Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse category has been an issue since like day one. Like day fucking one.
There is so much misinfo and even bots, but you know what's funny? The craziest thing in all this drama somewhat ended up being true. Going back to the wonderful and completely objective gacha gaming subreddit, this post made the rounds online, saying multiple tests from the Chinese community suggested opening Genshin on the background while playing Wuthering Waves may help fix Wuthering Waves performance
This shit makes no sense to me.
issues. So initially, people thought that this was posting, but I've seen many comments of people saying that this actually kind of works. I thought it was ridiculous at first, but it's for very specific things. Some people had issues verifying integrity of game files after they launched the game, right? But then when they launched Genshin, for whatever reason, the loading bar started progressing, which made some people think, wow, dude, Kuro Games would really stoop this low, huh? Being like, of course they would make their game perform worse and only perform better once they launch a competitor at the same time. Of course, like, this makes total sense. Of course it doesn't, you buffoon! The actual technical explanation makes more sense. Some people have come up with that idea, which is Genshin is made on the Unity engine, a heavily modified version. So heavily modified that it doesn't classify as Unity legally at this point. Wuthering Waves is on Unreal Engine 4.
I believe its actual name is actually the MiHoYo engine now.
Unreal Engine 4 is...
It has a specific name, but it's no longer called Unity. Because when the whole Unity drama was going on, HoYoverse was in a gray area where they couldn't go after it for money.
more catered to mid and high range PCs, while Unity is more catered to literal potatoes.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat more optimized fundamentally.
Yep.
When you launch Genshin, what it'll do is it'll kind of
It runs on credit cards. Yeah, exactly.
turn off the unnecessary Windows processes going on in the background that Wuthering Waves doesn't have control over. And this will help you have better performance when you're checking your game file integrity. Yeah, it sounds insane, I know, but some people have genuinely reported that it does help, and now they can play the game. So hey,
I've never experienced that. I've never seen it, and to be honest, I still think it's propaganda, brother. I think it's all these fucking Chinese bots coming in here trying to get the player retention numbers up of Genshin Impact because they know everybody leaving their goddamn game. So until I sees it, I don't believes it.
whatever works, I guess. Look, overall, this has been crazy. I don't think I've seen so much drama between two communities when a competitor launched in a very long time. But with that being said, I do need to point out something important. I've seen many comments of people saying, I don't care about the stupid drama, I'm enjoying all games, why can't we just enjoy all games? And that's the truth. I'm sure Wuthering Waves developers have played Genshin, and I'm sure Genshin developers have played Wuthering Waves, and I'm sure they both enjoyed their time.
You want me to tell you why we can't enjoy both games? Because one of the games hasn't made a new Archon quest in fucking 4 patches. What the fuck you want me to do in there? Go in there and pick mint? You want me to go pick some fucking mint? Hell no, I'm gonna pick some echoes instead.
Why can't we do the same? So let's chill, take a step back, and be glad that we have so many high-quality gacha games coming out that aren't just casino slot machine simulators,
But that's the best part! Don't you get it?
but something with an actual story and good characters. You have Azure Premilia coming
Yes,
out
sir!
soon, and you have
I will be the Azure Premilia, Project Mugen, and Zenless Zone Zero guy. Guys, I vow from this point forward, I will be the man to take gacha gaming into the fucking future like I've been doing for motherfucking years. And I can't do that shit without y'all, okay? We're building a new team. We will be taking gacha gaming into the fucking future, into the gaming stratosphere.
Project Mugen.
You say that about every gacha game, and you're goddamn right, and I'm right about every single fucking one. You know it, and I know it.
Again, I really do hope that when they come out, something like this will not happen again. Maybe I'm just too positive at this point. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah, love you.
I think that was a great fucking video. That was very interesting, and the way he presented was just so good. There's a lot of shit going on in the gaming stratosphere. But yeah, dude, boys, that was Mugen's video. If you guys want to go like, comment, and subscribe on it, you're more than welcome to. Really fucking good. A lot of fun. Very compelling. Very thought-provoking. And, yeah. Who's to say what's real and who's to say what's not? Who knows? Let me know what y'all think in the next video. Love you. Appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.